So today, the Inktober word for day 2 is wisp. And I have a picture of my granddaughter that I had taken where she's like um, playing in the yard with the sprinkler, and her hair is wet and she has like this wisp of hair going down. So I decided to do that. I sketched it first with a pencil, and then I used my rotary pens to do the outlines. And then I wasn't really loving it, so then I decided to do the neocolors. And so this is what I've been doing. I've been coloring with the neocolors. And now I kind of like how it looks. It's different. There's a lot of shadows in her eyes and in her mouth area. So I tried to do that with the pen, and I wasn't thrilled on how to do that. I don't think I did it really well. So then I covered it with the neocolors. And now I'm going to start using and activating the neocolors with my pen, with my brush. So let's see what happens, because it might look nice now and then it can all go to poopy. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of water. I don't want to overdo it. And I'll show you really quick what the picture looks like that I'm... So you see, and so that's what I'm trying to capture here. I had already laid down several colors on the paper. So it's just a matter of seeing how well they blend. And the neocolors are like crayons, but they're water soluble, so they interact with water. So you can color something or lay it over something, but if you want to activate it, you can just add water to it, and that's what I'm doing here. So here I'm going to be really careful because I don't want the gray to necessarily get on the part of her lips. So I'm just going to be really careful when I do this right here. I guess if once I'm done, if I don't want it to activate with any more water, I would put spray fixative on the page so that it doesn't interact with anything else. Okay, so her eyes, if you remember when I showed you the picture, were very shaded in. It's almost like you don't even see, you see the shape of her eyes, but it's almost like you don't see her eyeballs or anything. But I thought that would look weird, so I decided to go ahead and leave some white in the eyes, even though in the picture you really don't see that. And it's like she has like this squinty face, so she has like these veins popping up right here because it was a really bright day. I took the picture, I think it was like the year before, it's like a year ago or 2 years ago, and they were staying with us that weekend, and we decided to turn on the sprinklers, and they had a blast. And this was just a really good picture because you could see in the picture she has like little water beads just all over her face. I'm going to see if I do the water beads after all of this is dry. I'm not sure. I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up the picture if I do that. So right now, what you don't see is that I have my iPad with the picture up there, and I am looking at the picture as I am blending these colors with water. And I'm looking at the light areas in the picture because I don't necessarily want to blend those with the color. I want to leave those light. Darken her ears now. It's actually more of a black in the picture than a gray, so I might have to wait for that to dry and add like a darker color there. And then she has a big shadow underneath her neck because it's almost like her face is popping out in the picture and her body looks even smaller because it's like taken from like up going down. That's my dog Ella. She's probably barking at the iguanas because we have tons of iguanas that come out. Ella! That come out in our backyard. And that's what she does. She barks at them. And so these are her shoulders, and she has a little bit of a tan, but also it's like the picture's taken like from her head, and so the rest of the body, it looks smaller. So I tried to capture that in my drawing. And this part of the picture is a lot more shade. I don't want to blend the hair color into that, so I'm being really careful there. I like the neocolors because it's almost like paint using watercolors. Might actually have to add some white later on once this is dry to highlight some areas where the sun is really brightening up her shoulders. Okay, and in the picture, her hair is really, really wet and almost like stuck to her head, and it's like baby hair. So I don't necessarily want to blend too much like the colors. I just want to go down to make it look like really wet and stuck to her scalp. So I'm kind of just sticking to the directions that I originally drew the hair, and not necessarily moving my brush along too much to blend, because I don't want that to happen. And once this is dry, I can go ahead and use those neocolor crayons to redraw some of the lines to make them a little sharper. Okay, so these are the wisps of hair, which was the word of the day. So I want to really be careful here, because that was the whole point of me picking this picture, this photo to draw in the first place. And here, actually, I need to draw some hair, because in the picture, the hair is kind of going over this ear. Not that ear, but this ear. So I'm going to do some brown and then some black. And then it's kind of just coming out there. Just painting now the bathing suit lines. Her bathing suit is like a pink bathing suit with these like, I guess they're like little white flowers that were just hanging on. I decided just to paint them like this, like little triangles coming down because they were kind of hanging. And then I put some black under to create that little bit of a shadow underneath. So the part where the bathing suit is close to her skin, I drew a little black line, well, with the marker, but I also added the neocolor just to give it, because in the picture it has like a little dark shadow there too. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a bit. All right, so it's a bit dry now, and I'm just looking at the photo again, and I'm adding a little bit more of the neocolor into some of the darker parts of the picture. And I move the camera so that you could see the photo, the drawing a little bit closer. And I'm just trying to fix these wisps of hair, and I'm going to darken the hair a little bit more now, because in the picture, even though she has brown hair, her hair is wet, so it looks black. It's very dark. And she has these little baby hairs here. They're like kind of stuck to her head. Darken the shadow underneath her nose a little bit more and under her lip. Just making the shadows darker, because I know if I add this black once I wet it, it'll be a lot darker. Because in the photo these shadows are a lot darker. Okay, and I'm adding a little bit of water to activate this color and blend it in. Move my water this way. I need to add a little bit of more of a shadow here, right under her neck. I'm going to very carefully paint these wisps because I don't want it to blur. I want it to stay kind of the shape that they are, just like these little round tendrils of hair. And I'm going to go back over with some water on my brush over the black lines that I added to the hair the second time around to darken it a little bit more. I'm trying to remember where I added more of the black color so that I can activate it again with the water. And that's a thing you kind of forget if I don't do it right away. Oh, what are you doing? I'll just probably take a little bit of white afterwards and add it here. All right, I think I'm gonna let this dry a bit. Now I'm just redoing some of these lines that I had done before that got a little blurred when I wet the crayon. I'm not gonna go over all of them, just some of them that I feel like need it. And some areas that I need a little bit more definition with these wisps of hair that got a little blurry because of the water on the neocolor and on the paper. And this is like an absorbent paper because this is a watercolor book that I got from Viviva for the 2020 Inktober challenge. And I'm still kind of getting used to this paper. I think paper is really important, knowing your paper when you're creating art, because you can have a great idea, but if the paper doesn't work the way that you wanted it to, then it could be an epic fail. But so far so good, you know. Probably put a little bit more water than I needed to, so I have to wait for the paper to dry in some areas. So this Inktober, if you watched my video yesterday, I was saying that I'm gonna try to stick to the prompts, right? But I'm doing portraits because I've been really working on developing my portrait painting skills this year, and I've really enjoyed painting portraits of my family. And so I kind of had selected some portraits that I wanted to paint before October started, and now I'm just trying to match some of those photographs to the prompts, and I hopefully will be able to find a match for each prompt, but we'll see how it goes. That's my plan anyway. Although these do take a bit to do. So I don't know that every day I can dedicate so much time to them. Just underneath the nose again. She has a slight turn on her lip there. So I want to make sure I capture that. I'm going to redefine these little wisps of hair that she has going on there. Like I said before, her eyes are very, very dark in this picture. It's almost like you don't even see her eyes. You just see the darkness of the eye sockets, but I thought it would look a little too creepy if I didn't draw them. So the only thing I'm still debating is, do I want to put the water beads in it? And I think at this point I'm not going to. But I do want to add this little white that she has on her lip. Let me see what's going to work with this. I might have to use a white pen. My white pen has seen better days. I have several different white pens. I have the Posca pens. I have the Jelly Roll pens. Okay, let's see. Over here in her nose, she had a little bit of a shine. I'm trying to just do the little shine parts underneath her chin. There was a little bit of a shine as well. A little bit of a highlight right hugging her face. I'm just trying to do that with this pen. That's not working very well. Now it's just looking at the picture and seeing where I see the highlights. There are a couple of highlights on the hair because it's wet and the sun is hitting it, so I want to capture a couple of those. So I'm just looking at the picture, the reference photo, and just adding a couple of highlights here and there where I feel like it needs it, where the sun was hitting the most in some areas. And I think we are done. All I need to do is sign. And it's getting blurry a little bit from when I was moving, when I was pressing my hand. So I will probably spray it now after I sign it and take a photograph of it. Let me see if this pen is even working. I like these pens, but this paper is not the best to use these pens. See how it lifts up? It's like kind of tearing. Yeah. So we're done.